of setting the pace, looking for the orange cone and the big orange tire. It's hammered down and the street stocks come screaming to life here on lap 1 of 15. Jackson with plenty of room to work with, and immediately your three-time winner Derek Brown tries to get a run on the 777 of Dowdy. Ott goes to the top of the racetrack. Derek Brown joins him up there as well. Reggie Jackson leads him around for lap number 1. Jackson back to Dowdy, back to Brown, and Johnny Coates, the man from Joplin, Missouri, trying to move his way up in the field around the 27 odd of Toby Ott and trying to hold on to fourth.
You know, Corey, these cars are used to 20 laps, maybe 25 on a special show. As Toby Ott gets sideways, all on his own, back deeper in their field, it's Dalton Emhoff.
Disintegrate a little bit. 2 laps in the books as Striegel puts the green flag up. Reggie Jackson tries to run it through 1 and 2. Dowdy to the inside of him, catfishing around the bottom. Now 3 cars across. Toby Ott, Brown, along with the 7X of John Scott back there in a battle for fourth as Ott stays at the bottom of the racetrack, and he will have that spot all to himself at the flag stand.
Well, Jackson got off to a good start, and Dowdy got a great start as well as he had his nose to the inside. Derek Brown now, he's going to be a playmaker in this one as he is up to third. Toby Ott has moved back up to fourth. Well, turn 4 exit has not been good. And
right back to green flag racing now as the green goes up, the accelerator goes down, and Jackson will try to lead them as he has for the 4 previous laps. Derek Brown gets a good run off of turn number 2, rockets alongside the 777 of Dowdy and takes over second place. Dowdy, though, runs right up on the back side of the 11th, but Brown holds on to the spot and currently sits in second. Everybody strung out now, single file as Toby Ott tries to turn his attention to Jeff Dowdy, but Ott loses a lot of ground off the exit of turn number 2 in that new race car.
Well, you mentioned Derek Brown with a great run over there in turn 2. I'm not sure if it was such a great run, but it was Jeff Dowdy really losing a lot of ground. He had a really bad exit off of turn 2, allowing Derek Brown to get to his inside, and that's why I think now you see Jeff Dowdy able to match him lap for lap. He's not really falling back any further, and Derek Brown's not able to pull away.
Reggie Jackson is pulled away to a 1-second advantage over Derek Brown, 7 laps in. Brown all alone in second, back to Dowdy in third, Toby Ott in fourth, Brian Brown in fifth. Your top 5 in the running order with Emhoff and John Scott rounding out the field. Jackson gave up a 1/10 of a second that time. Derek Brown inching closer to the 356. Brown, a 3-time winner here in Victory Lane at the Diamond of Dirt track so far this season. See if he shaves anything off that time, and it stays about the same differential between the top 2 cars on the dirt. Dowdy, no problem navigating turn number 2 that time. Toby Ott not able to make up any ground, and Shane, right now everybody's just kind of strung out. There's eerily kind of the same gap between 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5. They're just all kind of running about a second to a second and a half time in between them. The closest fight on the racetrack right now between the 27 and the 69. Dowdy bounces it off of turn number 4, tries to give chase, getting closer to Derek Brown, but it's Reggie Jackson who has added to his advantage now up to 2 seconds to the better of Derek Brown.
And when you look at just his lap times, he's getting fast
here at Lucas Oil Speedway. White flag now for the white car that is out in front of the field. Can Derek Brown make a move here in the closing seconds of this one? Still a big gap between he and your race leader. Jeff Dowdy solidly in third with Toby Ott in fourth, Brian Brown in fifth. One more turn to handle, and Reggie Jackson is going to find his way to Victory Lane under the Saturday night lights here at Lucas Oil Speedway.
We'll get the start here for our feature as Peyton Phillips will roar the field to life, and they're already 3 wide across the line as Peyton goes plowing down on the low side. Ryan Middaugh follows suit as he will have Mitch Keeter in tow, and J.C. Morton stays right with him running that higher line. Chase Domer has been bad fast for a couple of weeks now. He has a 5th place spot, but then gives it up to the 55 of Colson Kirk, who dips to the inside. Ryan Middaugh trying to get a good run down on that bottom groove. He will pull up right on the back bumper of Peyton Phillips, peek his nose to the inside, but then Peyton will cut it off as action over in turn 2, deeper in the field.
Who's wanting to go to the high side, but not a lot of people been up there tonight.
Yeah, but the track is starting to expand more than what it was earlier in the evening as well, as they go single file all on the low side. The top 6 cars all make their way around 1 and 2, but then it's fanned out deeper in the field, 2, 3, sometimes 4 wide, as again those top 5 cars, like that bottom line, continue to go single file. Now Middaugh, the first to step out of line. That will force Peyton Phillips up to the high side. Let's see how it's like up there. It's not very good for Peyton. He will lose 3 spots, go from 1st to 4th, and now J.C. Morton right on his back bumper. Morton will go to the high side. That allows Chase Domer to dip to the inside and take away 6th.
Domer tries to pull up alongside Peyton Phillips, then falls in line. Ryan Middaugh out running away from everybody, and there goes Domer on the inside of turn number 2. He slides up in front of the 98. Looks like J.C. Morton going to go with him, and then a car off the pace over in the top of turn number 2. Can he get pulled back? And he does.
Good job by Rusty to get up on that top side and get out of the way. Rusty Skaggs will make the right-hand turn and exit on entry to the track. But Ryan Middaugh now out in front. Again, a big advantage for Middaugh in the points as he sits 62 to the good side.
Peyton Phillips continues to fall back in the field. Big Daddy Joe Duvall and Hollywood Robert Heidenreich both going to the bottom of the track, and now the 19 is going to bring out the caution.
Line has been the fast line in these opening 5 laps. That is where Middaugh will go to on the start. Goes to the high side, then dives down low. Stays middle of the track as they're lined up 1, 2, 3. Middaugh, Keeter, and Kirk. Chase Domer in 4th as J.C. Morton to the inside. Morton gives a little bit of ground as one car exits, and Keeter a wide turn over in turn 4, but is able to keep the momentum up, back down on the loud pedal, and stay right with Ryan Middaugh.
Lucas Gibbs has now left the racing surface, and Keeter tried to cut down the distance there in turn number 4, bumped one of those big white tires. See a little damage on the front end of his car as he sits 0.6 of a second behind Ryan Middaugh. Kirk coming up behind him in 3rd, Chase Domer in 4th. J.C. Morton trying to hold on to a top 5 spot in the 12M.
In top 3 cars now starting to break away. Domer in 4th, and now Mitch Keeter closes in on Ryan Middaugh. J.C. Morton in the midst of a 3-car battle, and what a kamikaze move it was for Chase Jones. Jones dips to the inside, is able to get around not only J.C. Morton, but is also able to get around Kyle Thompson as there is a change for the lead. Mitch Keeter on the inside. He will grab the top spot away from Ryan Middaugh. Middaugh had run that low line lap after lap. Keeter gets his nose to the inside, is able to take advantage and squeeze Middaugh up a little bit higher, as now another car slowed over in turn 4. Keeter looks at the orange cone. Now he sees the green flag. Again, the freight train goes through turns 1 and 2, and here comes Robbie Reed. The number 5 gets a great restart. 3 wide action up in front of him. He's going to make it 4 wide. He goes way top shelf. Jones has to chase his car up the track. He loses a little bit of ground to J.C. Morton, who's up to 5th. Now Robbie Reed splits the wicket, has Jones to the outside, Thompson to the inside. They will stretch out, and now we're side by side in a battle for 1st. Ryan Middaugh has caught back up with Mitch Keeter. Then it's nose to tail 3rd and 4th. Chase Domer a big mover as he's all the way up to 3rd, with Colson Kirk now in tow in 4th.
Robert Reed lost on the final lap last week to Robert Heidenreich when Heidenreich stayed on the high side and Reed stayed on the low side. It looks like Reed is seeing what it's like trying to run up in the high rent district as he continues to keep his car top shelf and make his way further up in the field. 5 cars in front of him now as that purple and white 5 makes a move and tries to get around J.C. Morton in the 12M.
Colson Kirk clips the white tire over in turn 3. hits it with his right front. You see just a little bit of damage. The white tire actually moved more than the car did as Colson Kirk goes to the infield. He was running in third. Chase Domer was looking to his outside, and the 227 had gotten around him. Kirk tried to make an evasive move to get a bigger run over in turn 3, and it cost him as the night for the 55 is done. Now Robert Hollywood Heidenreich gets involved over in turn number 2 as he went third in the national point standings. Gets a good start over in the apex of 3 and 4. Too wide, Robbie Reed, who was mid-pack even further back, now has a top 5 in his back pocket. He's looking for a top 3, and right now he's got it. He's taking that spot away from Chase Domer. Ryan Middall, the next to go down to the hands of the number 5. That's a battle with your top 2 in the point standings as well. Robbie Reed first in points, running third. Ryan Middall second in points, 1 spot ahead of him, as Chase Jones has a slow route through turns 1 and 2, has to check up. A couple cars back behind him, including Chase Domer and Kyle Thompson, have to check up as well. Chase Domer, who had been making a very good run, now has lost a couple of spots as he's back to 5th.
Was up as far as 3rd for the native of Nevada, Missouri. But how about the run by your points leader, Robbie Reed? The man from Mexico started 16th. He is now up alongside Middall, hugging the bottom of the racetrack, trying to take the short way around and take second place away from Button Buck.
And right now he's happy. This is a 25-lap feature, 1,000 to win. He needs those extra 5 laps if he is going to reel in the 52. The top 3 cars all spread out. Then it's back to Chase Jones in 4th. Good battle back for 5th as now Kyle Thompson peeks to the inside of Chase Domer. Domer then is able to go into 3 just a little hotter than Thompson is and keep that lead as the lead for Mitch
on it, but it's been pretty good this year.
Robbie Reed's tires are all aired up, and he's got 5 laps to catch up with that 52 in a big run over in turn 1. Gets a little bit of a bobble, and that will allow Ryan Middall to get a run off of turn 2 and look to the outside. Chase Jones with a fabulous run as Middall spins it around all on his own. 20 down, 5 to go. Did not get a completed lap in. As we're back underway, we saw Robbie Reed get a good run into turn 1 on that last restart. He will do it again as he noses right underneath the 52, drifts up high on the track, and now he'll look topside. That really hasn't been the preferred line, but the way Mitch Keeter's been running this track, he hasn't budged from down low. If Robbie Reed's going to find a way to get around him, he's either going to have to move him or find another line, as now Chase Domer moves Chase Jones a little bit. Gets into the left rear quarter panel, a little bit of contact, but no worse for the wear for either driver, as now Joe Duvall spins it around.
100 points, you can drive a little bit differently with that kind of lead.
Right now, Robbie Reed only has one thing in mind on how he's driving, and that's finding a way to get around the 52, and Reed immediately will go to the high side, try to find some momentum and some tacky stuff up there. It does not work well for this first lap as Mitch Keeter gets 4 car lengths out. Chase Domer will try that high side as well. Now Chase Jones has worked up. He's going to look to the inside of Robbie Reed. Jones having a great run tonight as he was running 3rd. Now Domer gets 1 spot around him. He will move into 3rd as Chase Jones is back to 4th with only a couple of laps left. 2 more times to go around as they cross underneath the flag stand.
Boy, and what happened to the 03 of Chase Jones? The 2 purple race cars, a pair of them were side by side. Now Jones drops back. Domer takes the 3rd spot, and Kyle Thompson trying to move up and improve on that number 5 spot as he's right on the backside of Jones.
1 more time around for Mitch Keeter, the pilot of the 52 out of Webb City, Missouri. Won here just a handful of weeks ago. He will win here at midseason. Now Domer, same song, second verse. We've seen this before between these 2 cars at the line. It's Domer.
Rich Wine, Hoover, they get to the orange tire and let loose the late models. Get your popcorn ready. This should be a good one. Hoover on the high side, Rich Wine at the bottom, and that rocket chassis roars around the top of the racetrack. Not a lot of cars have had any success running up top. Right now, Dylan Hoover just a nose behind Chad Richwine through the first of our 20 laps. Justin Russell tried to make it a 3-car battle. Instead, it'll be Dustin Walker in the 14. Richwine stays at the bottom of the racetrack, and Hoover hangs it around in turn number 4 and will lead him through lap number 2. 3 across now. Richwine at the bottom. There's Russell. 4 across. Hoover stays on the high side, and a hard move for Walker as he tries to get the nose of the 14 out in front. And we've got 3 different leaders on 3 different laps. Richwine, now Hoover hits the tire, slides up the racetrack, and Walker is going to not walk but run away from the field now. The tires have jumped out and bit people a couple of times tonight, Shane.
Boy, Dylan just clips it, loses a little bit of momentum as he goes up high on the track, but gets right back down into it. My word.
Dustin Walker, who won back on June 6th, looking for his second feature win here in Wheatland, and right now has a good 1 second advantage over Justin Russell, who we haven't seen on the track since Test and Tune before the season started. Hoover has fallen back to 3rd, and it's the hammer, Cole Henson, who is going to have a huge opportunity to get some room on Johnny Fenwell. Here comes Larry Ferris now. We were talking about Mr. Consistency earlier tonight. Ferris flies around Henson now and takes over the number 4 spot. Good lap time by Ferris that time as he is charging to the front, and now Russell races around the 14 of Dustin Walker. That black and blue 12 at the bottom of the track through the middle of turn number 4. And a new race leader once again. Russell trying to run away with Walker behind him. Hoover, after clipping the tire in between 1 and 2, has not been able to gain any ground as he sits in 3rd. They get pretty much straightened out here, single file now as Hoover gets a hard charge into turn number 3. Tries to gain some ground on Walker, and Hoover will get a good run off of 4. Not enough room to get around him, and he'll have to try to get around Walker when they get through 3 and 4 again.
Well, Dylan Hoover has started to make some pretty decent laps running that high side, and Walker, anytime he's over there in 3 and 4, it's just a tough exit for him, allowing Hoover to get to the outside, gain little by little every lap. Really like what I see coming out of Larry Ferris as well, as he has now gotten around the hammer Cole Henson. That's going to be a good 3-car battle for second right now.
Justin Russell is one of only 2 cars that's turned a sub 17-second lap time. 16 with a 6 the last time around on lap number 12. Dylan Hoover now into the 16-second club along with Larry Ferris. They are 1, 2, 3 right now. Caden Cornell on the move as the white 5-0, the Hoover Motorsports entry, sponsored by Cloverleaf Auto Repair, continues to try and carve up the field, and he is vying for a top 5 spot as he pulls up behind the hammer. And here's Todd Shute, the driver from out of the Des Moines, Iowa area, who's already been in victory lane this year, making his way up to make it a 3-car battle for 5th. Now Larry Ferris falls off the pace out of the exit of turn number 2, gives the spot away to Walker. Ferris gets back into the throttle. They are nose to tail. Hoover to Walker to Ferris, 2, 3, 4, and all the while, Justin Russell is running away. The second place car comes out of turn number 2. Russell's already into turn number 3 as he's almost got a straightaway to play with. Wait for it, Russell now with a 3-second advantage on the field. Dustin Walker to the bottom of the track. Hoover, hot off of turn number 2, takes second place.
Caden Cornell is worked up. He's looking at a top 5 as he is right behind the 51 of Larry Ferris. He goes high side, Ferris goes down low, as now that top line is starting to come in a little bit more for these late models. The bigger, heavier cars getting a lot of traction up top.
Russell's got 2 more laps to work here, 18 in the books. A huge gap, 2.8 seconds back to Hoover, who has got a rear view mirror full of Dustin Walker. Walker goes around and something lets go on the 99. It slows to a stop over on the exit of turn number 2, and the caution flag will come out. Back in the pit area already, watching Cole Henson continue on this mid-season championship points night. Justin Russell puts that race car on a rail around the bottom of the racetrack, but look at the 14. Dustin Walker flies down the back stretch, keeps that car up top around the cushion. Caden Cornell gets a good run off of 4. We got 1 more lap. 3 cars trying to break away from the field with Larry Ferris in 4th, Todd shooting 5th. And it's Walker now in front of the 12. Dustin Walker from Polk, Missouri, who won here back on June 6th, will take the last lap.
2 rows are our heat race winners, and Chris Jackson with J.C. Morton on the outside. See the green flag first, and a couple of cars slow to get started. Bryce Gottschall back there, as well as Luke Phillips. Phillips still not up to speed, as the top 4 cars that started the race stay the top 4 cars side by side. Nose to tail as Luke Phillips makes the right-hand turn. His evening is done. Now Clint Johnson looking to the inside, trying to play spoiler over Chris Jackson up front. He will take the spot away. Chris Jackson makes a little bit of contact. Some sheet metal now flapping on the left-hand side of Clint Johnson's car, but not going to play anything aerodynamically for them, as he has a 2-car length advantage over Chris Jackson.
Jackson trying his hand at the top side, followed by Andy Bryant, as they both have made their way around J.C. Morton, who started alongside Jackson on the front row. Johnson now a little slow through 4, may have given a couple of tenths back to your 2-time defending national points champion Chris Jackson. And now Hannah Frazee, whose car looked so...
Andy Bryant up on the high side, and we know that's where he likes to run. As the green flag comes out again, Johnson tries to pinch Chris Jackson down, and Jackson will have to fall back in line as Andy Bryant up on that high side makes that patented run off of turn 2. Will grab that 2nd spot away from Chris Jackson on the back stretch. Can he have it on the front stretch? Yes, indeed he can, as he will take over 2nd away from Chris Jackson. Now J.C. Morton's watching what the 28's doing, and he's going to try to follow suit. It won't work quite as well for him as now Andy Bryant running top shelf again. Tries to get around another car using that high side momentum, but that Yeoman powered plant number 37 keeps the spot as they complete lap number 5. Here comes Andy Bryant again. He'll grab the spot and clear the 37 by a half a car length on the front stretch. They come again, and Andy Bryant, your new leader, 6 laps in. Action over off of turn 4. It's J.C. Newell. Andy Bryant on the inside now of turn 2. Cleanly through turns 3 and 4. Andy Bryant somehow goes from inside to outside and is already back on top. And it's not going to take him long at all to get beside that 37. And it's not going to take him long at all to get right past him, as Jamie Mock's 58 slowed over in turn 3 and 4. Now a crossover as Johnson had him. Andy Bryant gets it back. That car that is for sale is hooked up out in front of the pack. I don't know why anybody wouldn't want to buy that car right now, the way it's handling and the horsepower that it has.
I can tell you what, if I'm Luke Neiman, I'm putting a for sale sign on every car Andy Bryant drives for the rest of the year. I don't care if it's brand new or an old beater. He gets to the front yet again now with Johnson behind him and Chris Jackson jockeying for position, but he can't get around the 37. Now up into the top 5, it's Turner alongside with J.C. Morton, as there'll be 3 across coming out of turn number 4 in a 3-car battle for 3rd.
Well, Eric Turner is going to try to break up that 4-car party. He started all the way back in 9th. He now has passed J.C. Morton, so the top 4 cars have now been broken up with Eric Turner in 4th. He wants to get even more than that as he looks to the inside of Chris Jackson, has to slide back up in line. Coming off of turn 4 as Andy Bryant leads the parade around the top side. Clint Johnson, that was running down on the low side, as well as Chris Jackson, they have all moved up to that high side. And how much has this track changed in just the last couple of races? You started out after the intermission break, nobody wanted to go top side. Now nobody's looking on that lower line.
It wasn't a huge field tonight, but there is such a benefit if you're a modified driver, a B modified driver, to have your feature after the late models run. They just flatten the surface, turn everything dry and slick. You see how much the darker shades have come in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and it completely opens up the track. And Clint Johnson, even though he hadn't been running around the top of the track, is going stride for stride right now with Andy Bryant.
How about another good mover in Robbie Ewing? He was back in 7th. He's now looking at a top 5 spot as Clint Johnson slides up, makes contact with Andy Bryant. A little bit of damage on the right side of Johnson's car. Andy Bryant's damaged as well, as now Chris Jackson will look to get around. And then Andy Bryant gets into Chris Jackson. Contact made in turn 3. The yellow had come out. Will determine your midseason champ. Green flag back in the air, and how about Robbie Ewing? He came out of nowhere. The pilot of the 32 hovered down on that low side, has grabbed second away from J.C. Morton. Eric Turner now up on the high side, riding the rim in that number 99 machine, has the lead and is looking to pull away from Robbie Ewing.
Is there any doubt right now that running the top of the track is the place to be? As Eric Turner gets a good run again now through 3 and 4. Ewing, a 2-time track champion. Down at the bottom, Ewing has always run so well at Dallas County. Tonight, he would love nothing better than to find his way to victory lane tonight here in Wheatland. Right now, he sits in second. J.C. Morton behind him. Then a 3-car battle for 4th with Mitchell Franklin, Luke Neiman, and the 84 there of Dayton Newell.
You know, Mitchell Franklin now running up in that top 5. We've just been waiting for him to grab his first top 5 of the season. Best finish so far, 12th. Chris Jackson still your point leader, even sitting back in 12th. Green flag back underway with 5 laps to go. This time Robbie Ewing looks to the inside of Eric Turner, trying to get a little bit of grip, and it's just not going to happen. As Turner stays out in front, we'll see if we can get these final 5 laps clicked off for these Ozark Golf Cars USRA B mods. Luke Neiman looking at a top 10 coming into Lucas Oil Speedway for the first time tonight. And how about the X2 as well, as J.C. Morton grabs second spot away from Robbie Ewing. Good run coming up for Brian Bolin as well, as he's got a top 10 in his sights. Turner gets a little bit higher on the track every single time as Morton at bay. Robbie Ewing right behind him as well, as they all go single file off of turn number 4. Eric Turner fans out to the high side. So does J.C. Morton. Robbie Ewing picks the low line, and they will come out of turn 2 the same way they entered turn 1. And another good run from Franklin. He's looking on the high side, has Dayton Newell behind him. And how about a good run for Dayton? Really haven't seen him in the top 5 all season long. That's where he's at right now, as Bryce Gottschall gets involved with Dayton Pert. Hopefully we'll only see 3 more flags before this one's all said and done. Turner off of turn 4. There's the green. Get to see that one first, as Turner high side. Can J.C. Morton do anything at all with Eric Turner? Falls back in line. It'll have to be a last-ditch effort move if he's going to do anything. He tries the low line. White flag comes out. Turner stays up high. So Turner will lead with 1 to go. Morton now follows him up on the high side. Franklin gets a run. It'll be a side-by-side battle for 3rd, as the top 2 cars pretty much all squared away. Eric Turner, first win of the season as he hits the stripe. J.C. Morton in 2nd, and Mitchell Franklin a 3rd place finish.
Of those race wins, we'll see if he can make it 2 in 2 years. And can the Pure Stocks provide us one more fantastic feature here tonight? It's a good jump for Carroll. He takes his 94 and navigates the bottom of the racetrack, with Turner now behind him, and DJ Barnes in that Batman 5 right in 3rd. Looks like the number 3 sliding back. Webb City's Jerry Wheeler giving up a spot, but finally gets the ship righted, and he falls in line behind Barnes. Sawyer, the 125 to the outside now, and it's almost 3 across there as Barnes tries to get to the inside of Turner now, and JT Carroll and that Kenny Carroll Excavating 94 out to a comfortable lead, but we've got a car slowed down the back stretch. See if he'll be able to make it onto the infield. That is the 5 of Mason Beck, and he does. He pulls it gingerly onto the infield, surrounded by the Hobby Time Motorsports safety crew. We continue under green flag conditions, and there's a car about to lose its rear end, isn't it, Shane?
Yeah, the back bumper's a little floppy on that machine. Can't tell what number that is, but as they cross in front of us, that is the
89.
Zach Williams, about ready to lose a bumper.
JT Carroll is trying to lose the field already. His last lap around had a 1.8 second advantage on the field. He will try and fly around C. He put him a lap down. Does so and continues to add to the lead now. Better than 2 seconds for the youngster from Camdenton. Tire, you cannot miss it. Carroll will carry the 94 through 1 and 2. Turner right behind him, followed by Jerry Wheeler as DJ Barnes went up the racetrack, and he's going to get shuffled back by at least 1 position, if not more.
A lot of damage on the front end of that 12S machine as well. You can see that front bumper peeled back.
Not aerodynamic or aesthetically pleasing, but it's able to still stay in the top 5 as he races side by side with the 14-year-old. Barnes in the 5 on the inside, the 12 to his outside. Barnes pulls up toward the back bumper of Wheeler. Wheeler in a battle for second place with Jack Turner. And just like the first 5 or so green flag laps, Shane, JT Carroll was able to get out to a 2-second advantage. He has done so yet again here with now Wheeler and Turner going side by side off of turn number 4. Wheeler had the inside line, but Jack Turner holds on to the number 2 spot on the racetrack.
DJ Barnes getting a little bit of help from Christopher Sawyer that last lap. Sawyer just got right on his back bumper, hooked up with him, and pushed him down the front stretch. Even though he doesn't have much of a nose on that 12S machine, was able to have enough of the roll bar pushing that youngster. Said that he's only 14 years old, probably the youngest driver on the track, but maybe even the oldest car. Dad said that's just been a car they've had in the family for a long time, and he just tinkers around on it and gets it race ready, doesn't put a lot of money into it, and says they're waiting for a new car.
Didn't they say they had a new one coming, right?
Had a new one on the way. They just hadn't gotten there yet, so keep that one race ready. And a lot of drivers have respect for the pilot. A youngster just goes out, runs his race, runs strong, and keeps it clean.
Tell you who I've got a lot of respect for right now, and that's Ethan Lammons. That 8 car you mentioned, a heat race winner, but arrived late, didn't get any passing points. He started 20th. He is now up to 6th, and now takes over the spot right behind the youngster DJ Barnes. All the while, JT Carroll continues to hit his spots and leads this race. He has got the field more than straightaway now. How about a 4.8 second lead for the driver of the 94, all the way back to Jerry Wheeler, who had been doing battle side by side with Jack Turner. Wheeler now with the advantage into second, Turner in third, and Conrad Kaufman behind the wheel of the 49K sitting in 4th. Carroll exits in the middle of turn number 2, winds his way down the backstretch and starts to get around and into lap traffic. See if that allows Jerry Wheeler to make up any ground. Carroll takes it to the high side down the front stretch, but still now continues to grow his lead over 5 seconds. The difference between Carroll and Wheeler. Wheeler out of Webb City cannot seem to make up any ground, even as JT Carroll is mired in lap traffic. He'll dive to the inside now of the 89. Carroll keeps his foot on the floor, fires off of turn number 2. Able to get around Williams. He continues to put cars a lap down. When Carroll comes to the flag stand this time, he'll have 5 more laps to go. You want to tell me how right you are right now? Shane, the great prognosticator. Now, trouble in turn 2. The white tire jumps out and bites another driver tonight. Chadwick tattoos the tire in turn number 2. Green light still on. JT Carroll's lead over Jerry Wheeler, 5.8 seconds now as the 21 retires to the infield.
Just makes the track a little longer. You got to take a deeper arch around 1 and 2 to get around the tire now.
JT Carroll will put now the 74 of Lampy a lap down. Carroll cruising now to a 6-second advantage over Wheeler, who just cannot make up any ground on the race leader. Just 2 more circuits now for JT Carroll, who has 1 other win on the season. Hasn't been able to get out a whole lot, Shane. Just a couple of features he's been able to run, but he's won half of them.
And there haven't been a lot of races around the area for this division. Some of the tracks that typically run them aren't running them this year.
JT Carroll sees the white flag now, waiting on Wheeler to come underneath the flag stand. When this one's all said and done, JT Carroll may win this by 7 seconds. As Carroll enters turn number 3, Wheeler comes off of turn number 4. JT Carroll won this race in August of last year. He is a repeat winner tonight.